Now we'll take a look at our U5 program. The single biggest difference between the U5s and U4s is that they now have an actual coach and they will have a practice session during the week. We're going to focus here on the game situation that they have, or the game setup that they have on Saturdays. Now first off, they play on microfields, on 4 microfields, and they're going to focus and play 2 versus 2. That's going to be the main theme for their sessions. There are no standings kept. I mean, it'd be a mathematical impossibility to try to figure out what the standings would be in this. Now, the way the fields are laid out, as you can see, with the 4 fields, no parents are allowed within or between the fields. There'll be a space of about 2 to 3 yards in here. The only people that can be in that area between the fields will be the coaches, designated assistant coaches, and the players. So that's all. No parents in there. Now the coaches will need to work together. That's an important thing. This is not a competitive thing, and I don't think anyone really believes that it would be. So the coaches need to work together, and one of the key things they'll need to do is sort of monitor the fields so that they can keep a balance between the games. In reality, some of the kids are going to be a little stronger, a little better, a little quicker, a little faster than some of the others. And the coaches should work together to try to make sure that each field has a balance between these better players and the ones that are not quite so better. So, for example, on field 1 would be the 2 strongest, fastest players against the 2 strongest, fastest players. On field 4 would be maybe some newbies, kids that are just getting into the program, very shy, not sure what's going on, and they'll have an opportunity to just sort of walk through things on their own. Now, the 2 versus 2 thing, it's going to fall apart here in just a second because we do have free substitutions. Why do we have free subs? Because this is what's actually going to happen. During the course of the game, little Jane over here, she's going to want to go over and see that new puppy that they just brought. Uh-oh, 2 versus 2 just became 2 versus 1. So we need to put somebody in there pronto. And then over on field 2, Billy, he fell down, he gets a boo-boo. So we need to get Billy off the field, and let's put Pete in over there so they can play. And the next thing you know, Rachel over here, well, she's just tired. She wants to sit down, and she says, hey, take me out. I thought that's part of the deal. The kids determine their own level. Well, yeah, you're right. So, Rachel, you can come over here, and John, you go over there. And the next thing you know, Raymond up over here, well, he doesn't want to be there anyway. So he's going to go off, and he's just going to kind of play in the dirt, and so we got to put another player in there. So you have this dynamic flow between the fields, and things are going to change constantly. Now there's one situation where the 2 versus 2 rule could be amended, and this is really up to the coaches to decide, and they need to decide based on the actual situation. And that would be this. If on a field you have 2 players or even 1 player who's just totally dominant, this child is just, no one on the team can stop him. So let's say this player here in blue is just years ahead of everyone else. They could even play 1 versus 2. It wouldn't matter. In that case, in that situation, might be able to put a 3rd red player on the field to help balance things out and to try to establish a little bit of equity in the game and also make it harder for that superstar at this age to work. Now, player's choice restart. We really want to emphasize that. That's the way it should be. You can go back on the video of player's choice reset goals and see how that works. Now, how can the parents help the coach? Well, first off, as you see, the parents should be 3 yards away from the field and around the outside. That's important. Obviously, nobody's up there, and we don't want the parents hovering over the side of the field. After all, the kids are going to dribble out once in a while, and that's all right. But for the parents, here's what you should be doing. Stay quiet, stay calm, be relaxed, and above all, let's try to ban this word from the fields. This is not encouragement. This is an instruction. Go, go, go. When you have 8 or 9 parents, a couple of grandparents, aunts and uncles, and siblings all around these fields, you have 10, 12, 15 people yelling and screaming, go, 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 go. The kids can't figure out who are they yelling for, what are they yelling about. I don't understand any of this. Stay calm. If you want to yell something, try this. Relax. Give that a try. Relax, stay calm. And one final thing. We're not trying to get the kids to be referees. If the ball goes out just a little bit and the kid makes a great save and pulls the ball back onto the field, that's okay. There should be nothing wrong with that. If the ball goes a little bit over the line, let's not all have parents say, stop, 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 we need to stop. The kids will figure it out. Eventually, they're going to have to referee the games themselves. And we're trying, even at this age, to empower them to let these kids develop a certain level of independence. So that's about it for the U5s. And we'll look at the practice situation in some later videos.